From the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight with Ryan Edwards and Benjamin Allbright.
Broncos Country Tonight, OTAs rolls on. Steve Atwater, Broncos Ring of Famer, Hall of Famer in the studio. What up, Steve?
What's going on? R. Edwards, Benjamin Allbright.
It's good to have you here, man. It was fun last week as the Broncos took the field, practiced a lot of red zone. First, I want to ask you, as far as from a defensive perspective, and don't give me this nonsense about, the offense always has the advantage. Defense, poor defense. Who has the advantage?
Sometimes they do have the advantage when they've been pounding the ball and you can't stop them.
All right, who has the advantage? Now, be honest. Who has the advantage in the red zone, offense or defense?
I would say defense has a little bit of an advantage. Well, we used to feel that way anyway, even if we didn't have an advantage. Once we got inside the 20-yard line, they just had to take some things out of the playbook offensively. And defensively, the quarterbacks would have to we knew that the quarterbacks would have to make quicker decisions with the ball. If they're going to throw a go ball, they got to show it pretty quickly. And many times the quarterback had to be extremely accurate to, thread the needle in there, especially to the tight end on the seam and on those 50-50 balls as well. And if you didn't have a good quarterback, guess what? We're going to make a play.
The Broncos have, over the last several years, really struggled in the red zone. It's no surprise there. How can the Broncos offense flip the script, knowing that we know, because we have a Hall of Famer telling us, that the defense has the advantage in the red zone?
Run the football. I know that sounds counterintuitive in a passing league, but run the football. We use cliches like setting the tone and all that kind of stuff. Punch them in the mouth and keep punching them in the mouth. And if you're successful, if you're ripping off 4 or more per, then you can't be stopped. If you get 4 every time, you're getting a first down every time. You can't be stopped. So take the ball out of, do the old, what's the old expression that when you throw the ball, only 3 things can happen and 2 of them are bad? That's just run the ball. Just run the football effectively. Have Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams punch him in the mouth when you get down there. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but in the modern NFL, the main formula for success for most teams is throw the ball between the 20s and run it once you get in the red zone.
I'll say when teams have success running the ball, even when they're not in the red zone, and they get into the red zone, and they still able to run the ball. I think for us, I know when I played, we felt like they were at an advantage, and we play against teams and they'd have success running the ball out in the regular field of play, and they get in the red zone and they start passing the ball. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Please pass it because we cannot stop the run. And, it goes against, all reasonable thought. But, if you're having success, offense are having success, run the ball out in the regular field and in the red zone, hey, defenses fear that even more.
So, because I think what comes to a lot of people's minds as they're watching this video, think, well, what about the Kansas City Chiefs? They're a team that seems like they don't really run. They pass to set up the run, and they pass to set up the pass. And they seem to be one of the top red zone teams in the league every single year. So why are they having success? And the Broncos should go with more of the, I think, old school view of this, which is be efficient in the run game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're elite in the passing game. They've been elite in the passing game for several years. They got a lot of just carry over from year to year. And, when you have teams that are great at it, now they may not be effective at, pounding the ball down there, but, you gotta prepare extremely well and know exactly what your responsibilities are. Patrick Mahomes is extremely accurate, so, an inch can make the difference between making a play and not making a play. So, you got to be in great position. Again, know exactly what they're doing to try and beat you.
But they also do run in the red zone. I mean, specifically when they get into inside goal-to-go situations, they do run the ball. They pound it in with Damian Williams. They run that shovel pass, which is, and they run that little bump, that fly bump pass, which is basically a run as well. They do run.
It goes down as a pass.
It does, but let's be honest here. I mean, if you're charting that as a run. You're not charting that as a pass. And, they have some other advantages. They got a lot of speed. They can go horizontal with you on pick plays with Hardman and Hill. Well, not Hill anymore, but they used to, go that way. And then you got a Travis Kelce in there you got to account for as well. So there's a lot of different things that they have. And, by the way, Pat Mahomes is throwing, not Teddy Bridgewater. So there's a lot of things that you have going on in the red zone that they can get away. They're an outlier, though. I mean, statistically speaking, if you get in goal-to-go situations, you're probably better off trying to run it.
Well, what I'm hearing from both of you is there's a premium on accuracy if you are going to be throwing the ball.
Velocity and accuracy.
Right. Velocity and accuracy.
Yeah, most definitely, because there's not much room down there. And, many times when you see the tight ends and receivers make catches down there, they're contested.
Mm-hmm.
But the quarterback is accurate and he's putting the ball on the money. If the ball is behind him, guess what? You're not going to score a ton in the red zone, and, you're not going to be happy with the results.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about great passing, goal-to-go passing offenses, and you talk about Tampa. Tom Brady is throwing the football up for Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, those dudes can climb the ladder, Right. So, I mean, that's what we're talking about here, is having the accuracy to be able to put it up, let those guys go get it.
And then, you see teams, and we've been this team in the past where, you got 6'4", 6'5" guys who can jump out of the gym and go up and get the ball. And they line up against a 5'9", 5'10" corner. You don't even give them a chance to throw the ball.
Well, we had that
to catch the ball.
We had that against the Raiders. I don't know if it was last year or year before. I have to go back and look at the tape. Where you had Tim Patrick lined up on the 5'9" corner the Raiders have. I can't think of his name now. And they didn't even throw him the ball.
Throw it.
Hit the fade, man. What are you doing?
And I have to assume the Broncos, who've had some red zone issues over the last several years, I have to assume Russell Wilson's going to be a little more keenly aware and have the ability to take advantage of those mismatches. And that's something there that I wanted to ask you next is what's more difficult to cover if you're a defense? Is it the tall guys or the speedy guys?
Well, in the red zone, I would say the tall guys who can go up and get it. But, hey, the speedy guys also, they can get off the press. I'm talking more
quicks.
Yeah. I'm talking about, the slot receivers, the
high motor, gritty guys.
Hamler type guys. And Jerry Jeudy. For me, I would say just because the ball has to be thrown well and you're going to be contested. And then some of the slot corners, if they're good at jamming, the slot guy can get caught up in there sometimes and not really get off the line, not be able to have a clean release because there's a corner there.
With the tall guys, you have the added component of a vertical axis you have to cover as well. I mean, the horizontal stuff, left to right, right to left, forward to back, okay, that's fine. But now you got to cover a vertical axis as well. Make sure you can't go up and get it. I mean, to me, that seems like it'd just be more challenging.
Yeah.
Well, but you mixed in there with the Chiefs, right? And everybody chases the best teams, right, every single year. But having that speed out there, being able to run horizontal and challenge the entire every blade of grass, right? The cliche that is. So I think that for the Broncos, it is finding that mix. But something that we've talked about for years now is, boy, the Broncos seem to have a size advantage across the board. They have two really tall wide receivers. They got two really tall tight ends now, and even when they had Noah Fant here, but now they have Greg Dulcich. They have a lot of size advantage, it would seem like, in those situations. And I'm not necessarily asking you why the Broncos didn't take advantage of that, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you why the Broncos didn't take advantage of that. Was it accuracy? Was it velocity? What is it?
I think probably more than anything, it was quarterback's accuracy, especially in the red zone, because if you're off, then guess what? It could be a pick six.
That's a good point.
If the ball is behind one of the slot guys, he makes a great move. He's wide open, and then you're behind him, and the corner's right there like, oh, thank you.
The classic example is the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Seahawks against and Russell Wilson against the New England Patriots. Were they more afraid of that inside slant, or were they more afraid of Marshawn running downhill on him one more time? We saw what happened.
Let me ask you guys a question. One last thing here about sequencing in the red zone. This is always a hot button topic, right? I mean, every OC. It's funny to me because between the 20s. I don't think it's nearly as scrutinized when it comes to offensive coordinators and play callers as it is when they get the red zone and the sequencing that happens. It seems like sometimes offensive coordinators sort of get in their own heads and they outthink the situation. Would you say that's a fair assessment of, again, maybe not the elite offenses, but overall?
I think it's a trap offensive coordinators fall into all the time, not just necessarily in the red zone. They outthink themselves. They outsmart themselves. Well, we got 5 yards off first down with the run. Now it's time for me to get creative and dial up that deep shot, right? No, just stick with the run. Let the sledgehammer pound it down. You'll get your shots. And I think they do at times outfox themselves a little bit.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that Pete Carroll, he'll always, that's one of the plays that he'll always go back to and wish he can take back. And, I'm sure there are several coaches like that who, they want to get cute. They've been effective running the ball, but then they think, they're going to load up the line of scrimmage. They're going to be able to stop it. Well, guess what? Teams are also still looking out for the pass too, so they can't just load everybody up and unless it's last play of the game and you just know 100% they're going to run the ball, but there's always a chance you're going to pass it. So if you got a chance to pound that ball and you've been having success doing it, keep doing it.
All right. Broncos looking to improve in the red zone this year. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, R. Edwards.
Appreciate it. For Benjamin Allbright, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks for watching Broncos Country Tonight.